So today I will show you how I get the film look in Davinci Resolve. So as you can see, I've got a few clips in the timeline here, and most of them are shot on the iPhone 12 with HDR video turned off, so it's just standard 4K iPhone footage. The last clip here is shot on the Sony ZV-E10 in S-Log 3, so if I click bypass color grading, you can see it's shot in S-Log, and I just converted it. So when we go to the color tab, you can see I just used the CST or the color space transform and converted it to Rec 709. On the other clips I didn't do anything, so they're just straight out of the iPhone. And what I like to do for my color grading, instead of using the clip base and color grading all the clips individually, I like to work in the timeline node just for the overall color grade. Of course, you can adjust the color grade for every clip individually after you did the overall look. So I like to use 3 different ways, and we start with the first way to get the film look. The first way is to use a plugin called De-Answer. So we go to the Effects tab and drag De-Answer Pro on this node here. And now we can make all our adjustments, and I want to use Kodak Vision 350D, and I want to use film compression. Film compression compresses the highlights, and as you might already know, the iPhone highlights are already pretty compressed, so we don't have to do much, but of course maybe for the Sony footage. But because we are working in the timeline mode, we have to find a middle point so it fits the Sony footage but it also fits the iPhone footage. I think about 16 looks good. And we go back to this clip, and then I want to use a film print LUT. So in this case I want to use the Kodak 2383 film print. And then I like to increase the color density, maybe even increase the tonal contrast so that we get more contrast. And because of the new update for De-Answer, we can now choose a profile for the film grain, for example, and for some other things like the halation and bloom. And I like to use the 60mm for the film grain, and I want to do the same with the halation, so we use the 60mm Super 16. And of course I want to enable them. And I want to do the same with the bloom, so we enable it and choose 60mm of course. And I don't want to have film damage or film breathe or gate weave, but if you want to have that, you can turn it on of course. But what I like to use is the vignette, so we activate it. And now when we switch through all the clips, we can see it looks pretty good and it has the film look. And of course, if you want to have the real film experience, you can use the adjustment clip, but you can also do this on the clip if you want to. And go to cropping and crop about 150 on the left, or maybe even more, maybe 200, and 200 on the right. And now it's more square, so it looks really like film. And I think this looks extremely cool in my opinion. And by the way, if you want to get a 10% discount on De-Answer, you can use the code in the description. So for the second way, we reset all the grades, and I make about 3 nodes I think. And then we go to the second node, put a color space transform on the second node. And now we want to convert from Rec 709 to color space Rec 709. And for the output gamma, we want to choose Cine and Film Lock. And then we can go to the third node and choose one of the Davinci Resolve film LUTs. So we can use the Kodak 2383 D60 for example, and now we get the film look done, but of course without the halation, the bloom and all the other things. But we got the colors that we get from the Kodak LUT, so this is pretty cool that we have that built in the Davinci Resolve. And if you want to make some adjustments, for example if you want to have the blues more on the teal side, you can go to the first node, go to your hue versus hue curves, click on the blue color, and now you can lift it so that you get more teal blues. So as you can see, it affects that. And you can do this with all the colors if you want to change them, if you don't like the standard colors of the Kodak 2383. I think this is a pretty cool way to get the film look, and you can also get pretty creative with it. If you want to make a lot of adjustments with the hue or the saturation, you can do that. And also if you have the Davinci Resolve Studio version, you can once again go to the Effects tab and add the halation, and now we get even the halation. And of course we also get the grain, so you can make your adjustments with the Studio version of Davinci Resolve. So if you don't have the Davinci Resolve Studio version, you can also use a film grain overlay. This is actually what I did for a long time before I had the studio version of Davinci Resolve. Now when we go through all the clips, you can see it also looks extremely cool. It looks way different than the other one, but it also looks extremely cool in my opinion. What I also like to do if I want to get the film look is to use my own LUT. So we go to LUTs and go to my LUTs folder and choose film print. And now you can see how the colors change. And as you can see, I changed the colors in a way that I like them. And I also created a contrast curve that I like, so this is a pretty custom way to do it. And also the LUT pack is not available yet. If you want me to publish this LUT pack, you can write a comment. I color graded a lot of footage with this LUT because it's a LUT that you can use on almost every type of footage. And I also color graded this footage, for example, with this LUT. So this is without the LUT. And this is with the LUT. So this is how I get the film look in Davinci Resolve. If you want to know more about De-Answer, you can click on the video on the screen right now. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video.